Alright. Hello, and welcome back. It is time to do this. I don't necessarily want to do this. I don't like this case coming up. It is not good. But we have to. I have made this bed, now I must rest in it. I don't like Turnabout Serenade. It is a case that really requires you to just leave your suspension of disbelief at the door. It's not, and that's not fun. So yeah, this is gonna be, it's gonna be a bit of a chore for me, but it's fine. Let's just rip this band-aid off and get it moving. Yes. Episode 3, Turnabout Serenade. Let's rock! Music's bumping. Rock on, everyone. This party's not over yet. Get out your handkerchiefs for our special guest. That's right, baby. The night's just getting started. Thank you for coming into the this ends the first part of tonight's show. There will now be a 20-minute intermission. Backstage hallway. This is so cool. I was at a Gaviner's concert. Man, he sure did just name his band after himself. Alrighty. Huh? Did you say something? My ears are still ringing. The Gaviner's putting sick back in music. Well, I thought Mr. Gavin was really nice. Sending us those tickets at 20% off. They're hard to get a hold of, you know. When you invite people to a concert, it's usually free. Let's head to his dressing room, Apollo. You know, like we're a couple of VIPs. I've always dreamed of being a VIP at a Gaviner's show.
Trucy, you didn't know who Prosecutor Gavin was before that case.
What kind of fan doesn't know the lead vocalist's name? Yeah. Yeah, but I'm a girl. I'm supposed to swoon over gods of rock. Real,
Real progressive there, Ace Attorney. God awful, maybe.
I bought all their stuff on the way home from the trial. I had 12 Gaviner's albums and 15 concert videos.
That was quite a bit of impulse shopping.
I got an advance on my next 15 years worth of allowance.
For Mr. Wright, that sounds like a real act of generosity. Who would have imagined me here? At a Gaviner's concert, watching Prosecutor Gavin rock. To be honest, it's kinda cool. I'm kinda envious. Not that I'd ever admit that to Trucy. This is quite the dressing room. Is that a Red Badger guitar? Ah, you made it.
Mr. Gavin, thanks so much for the tickets.
And the invoice you sent along with them.
You were incredible all up on stage, Mr. Gavin.
Nothing like the music to brighten the mood after a trial, ja? And we're almost ready for our next act. I'm looking forward to it myself.
the Miroir's singing, right? The Siren of the Ballad? Or Siren of the Ballad?
Oh yeah, the flyer said she flew all the way over for this show. That's right, I happened to catch her show while overseas. Her voice is divine. I knew I had to invite her to perform with us. Le Miroir says, you praise me too highly.
Oh, who's this guy? He's huge!
Allow me to introduce Mr. Romain Letus, Le Miroir's manager and her interpreter, incidentally. It is a great honor for us to be here, and a great honor for Le Miroir to be heard in this country.
Wingdings. That voice. I wish I could understand it. It's beautiful. Wingdings. Wingdings. Ah, it's Le Miroir. I'm actually meeting Le Miroir.
Le Miroir. Mysterious songstress.
Could you always see? Or is that, like, are you actually able to see past your veil now because this is, like, an HD upres? Because I feel like you couldn't really see past the veil on the Nintendo DS, just because it was so low res, comparatively. And on a little tiny DS screen.
Her quiet, deep song glides through the air, lilting above a sparse but elegant piano accompaniment.
This is music. She's a real artist. Wingdings.
Le Miroir says, we have looked forward to this joint performance.
Le Miroir, your voice. It is art. Wingdings.
Yet without his piano to guide me, it is but a voice.
I've seen this kid somewhere before. He plays piano at all of Le Miroir's concerts. He's cute. And he's a really good pianist.
Good pianists are a dying breed, I hear. Allow me to introduce Machi Tabaye. He is blind. This is why he never strays far from Le Miroir. They are always together.
Like characters from some sort of fairy tale. Le Miroir's so, what's that word? Exotic. And mysterious.
She does seem quite pretty. At least her eyes do.
Is it kind of sightseeing music?
Huh?
She travels the globe, putting the sights she sees into song. Even though her appearance and voice are exotic, her songs remind us of something close and warm. Sight into song? That's so poetic!
She was gracious enough to put music to my lyrics tonight. Guitar Serenade. I hope you enjoy it.
I can't wait!
And now it is time for the next part. For giving the governors hard rock a little rest. Le Miroir, the stage is yours.
Wingdings.
The band members will not play during Le Miroir's ballad. Only Machi's tender tones and Le Miroir's dulcet voice. And my guitar, of course.
Woohoo! Nights like this make it all worthwhile, you know? I should have learned to play guitar. I was learning to play guitar, but it ultimately didn't pan out. There's not much romance in Chords of Steel.
Shall we hit the stage then?
Good luck, Mr. Gavin.
Take your hearts on stolen. Take care your hearts on stolen in a veg, yeah.
Let's get back to the concert hall, Polly. sugar. Oh, that night in your embrace, when you stole away the keys, my heart held on to so tight. That lovely Nintendo DS CGI. Well, was that supposed to happen? I feel like that wasn't supposed to happen. I didn't notice when I first played through this. I don't think I noticed the fact that his guitar was like lighting up. On the inside, leading up to it eventually bursting into flames. Backstage hallway.
Wow, wasn't the Mirawar amazing? I even cried a little.
I'm surprised Prosecutor Gavin actually burned his guitar.
Yeah, that even surprised me, and I'm a magician. What a production!
What a destruction. I don't think Prosecutor Gavin was expecting it either, oddly. He looked as surprised as I was.
Is that what they call risking life and limb for art? I think he's my new hero.
I'm not sure I'd call that art.
Well, what are we doing here? Let's get going to Mr. Gavin's dressing room. There's 20 minutes to the last part of the show.
How many breaks does this band need? Gaviner's dressing room. What the heck was that? I was never consulted about it. Sorry, Mr. Gavin, sir. I've asked the man in charge. I play new rock, not great balls of fire. Speaking of fire, I have a good mind into fire, whoever is responsible.
He seems upset.
Follow justice. Or you're the one who tried to torch me. Hey, I didn't do it.
So much for risking your life for art.
Guitar serenade is ruined. Ruined!
Well, let's try to talk to him at least.
I'm not sure that's the best move right now.
You mean the guitar, that wasn't part of the act?
Part of the act? Who'd burn up a guitar? Who'd burn up a guitar on purpose?
But it worked really well with the lyrics just then. Burning on in my heart, fire, burn my love away, all away?
Wait, you think the audience thought it was... Sounds like he got lucky.
They probably thought it was just part of the act. At least I did.
He got lucky. He didn't realize it. Anyway, that guitar was the Ferrari of guitars. All the speed, all the sound, and all the price. If I burned one of those every show, I'd go broke. Unusually frugal for a rock band.
Try saying that to Mr. Gavin.
Today has been one disaster after another. My hog won't run, my guitar case is broken.
Daddy told me that there'd be days like these.
Your job's a joke, you're broke, your love's life. Looking at these.
Wasn't Lamiroar's song incredible? You two worked on... Or you worked on it too, right, Mr. Gavin?
Ah, yes. Thanks. It was a collaboration. I wrote the lyrics and she wrote the melody.
You know, I was surprised she could sing in English.
I'm sure she practiced a long time for this day. Ah, here.
What's this?
A lyric sheet. It's yours. Designed by myself and La Miroir.
Yippee! Thanks so much.
Well, I ever get to sign a client defense agreements. Lyric sheet added to the court record. I wonder if that's ever gonna come into play. Almost time for the third act of the night.
Oh, there's more. There's more?
Yes, La Miroir's part is done. Now it's time for us to drop the groove. Drop our groove again, Ja. Hope you're ready to catch it.
Woohoo! Ready, Apollo?
I think I'll pass.
Huh?
I like the bit with La Miroir, but the rest could use a volume knob turned way down. I'm kind of the same way. I don't do concert scenarios all that well. They are too loud and too many people, and they stress me out.
Apollo, you're getting old.
Is 22 qualify? Okay, so he is 22. Qualify as old to a 15-year-old? Yes. As someone who's going on 30 this year, yes.
Oh, I'm going.
Let's the old folks rest backstage. Yeah, by 2 years. That's an odd guitar. The design is that character I saw in the hallway, but with sunglasses. What a strange mascot. Looks like he's crying. Since when was rock about crying? I guess it depends. They should name this guy... Boy howdy, that's When was this game made again? 2007. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's about right. That is about right. There we go. Okay, yep, I just had to, double check. Yeah, 2007, that's about right. The police officer looks ready to rock. Some kids must see this and actually want to be cops. Somehow I don't think a rocking defense attorney would work too well. Thick leather gloves and sunglasses. Maybe I'll try these on. On second thought, no. They might be evidence for one of Prosecutor Gavin's cases. If he's bringing evidence and just leaving them lying around in the, in his, like, band's dressing room, then, yeah, that's, yeah, police uniform. Next to that, a policeman's hat and a pair of handcuffs. Guess the band is really into the police. Must be Prosecutor Gavin's bad influence. That rock and roll was about being rebellious. A little bit. Graffiti on the mirror and lipstick. Wait. But all the Gaviners are guys. Maybe Prosecutor Gavin wears lipstick? The guitar looks like it was made out of a cop car door. That's right. Trucy's not here to set me straight. Now I feel kind of lonely. A postcard of Le Miroir. I can't read a single word on the sentence in the bottom. Trucy might want one of these. I'll show it to her next time we're here. A delicious bowl of stew. Made of plastic. Huh? And the bottom of the bowl has a G on it. They sell these at concerts? Whatever happened to t-shirts? That's a very weird. Chains dangle from the ceiling. They aren't glimmerous, but I bet Detective Scott would have something to say about them. I think... Oh, speaker. Old-fashioned speaker hangs from the ceiling. That must be... Need to monitor what's happening out on stage. I think we have the same kind for my school's PA system. Backstage hallway. Hey, it's you! That right kid! Detective Sky? I'll let that right kid. Business pass. Call me Emma. There's no need for titles when she shared a bottle of fingerprinting powder. Sure? That's a new one. So, Emma, what are you doing here? Isn't it obvious? I'm snacking. You think I want to be here? Me, in charge of security in this pit? Security? Did something happen? No knowing with that glamorous fop. Apparently he's all upset because something was stolen. And he wanted security back here during the concert. Why does he get off acting like he's some big rock star? He is a big rock star. Hey, you listening to me? So, where's this door here lead to? Listen, that's the Miroir's dressing room. Don't even think of going in unless you want a piece of snack ooze in your face. Is she ever in a good mood, I wonder? What's that odd-looking doll doing there? Oh, that's a blue badger. Could you try either talking or munching, but not both? She snacked me. For me, why? Sorry, I don't speak snackoos. Come to think of it, I am a little thirsty. I'll have some tea. I think I'll get a water. I'll have tea. If you want tea so bad, go buy it yourself. She snacked me. I'll take a tea. Is this the case that maybe not like Emma again? I can't remember, because I remember playing this on my 3DS and not liking the direction they took Emma's character from Rise from the Ashes. and like finding her to be pretty unlikable in this game, but I didn't get that so much in Turnabout Corner. So I don't know. I don't know if, you know, playing this again will make me feel different about Emma. There's an interpretation in this game. Like, maybe it was just because I wasn't, like, fully playing the game, like, or had the game didn't have my undivided attention, so Emma's character didn't register quite as strongly because of that, as opposed to how I am now streaming it. Or if, now that we're past Turnabout Corner, I'll start to, figure out why I don't like it. Or don't like her in this game. Yeah, plastered all over the place. It's annoying. Well, this is the concert venue, it makes sense. Why? Everyone's here already. Or everyone here is already here. Why advertise to them? People like to see the poster at the concert. It's part of the experience. You have to find fault in everything I say. She snacked at me. I mean, I am a defense attorney. That is kind of my job. What's this? Some kind of headset earpiece? Why would someone leave this in the hallway? Maybe Lemiroir's bodyguard dropped it? Emma! Will you stop eating those snacks for 1 second and listen? You think you're gonna pull me away from my snacks? Anxious to hear you mumbling on and on about whatever. You're going to be sorely disappointed. Oh, I really don't want to be proven right about her. I really don't want to be proven right. Please let me be still like Emma. I got her to stop munching. It's a pretty sturdy looking box there. Maybe it's an instrument case? There's a guitar next to it. Don't even think about taking that. I don't think I could even carry it. She snacked with me. That's Prosecutor Gavin, or the Gaviner's dressing room. So much as a hand on the door and I'll snack at you. Hold on, I just came out of there. Don't play smart with me. So this is Lemiroir's dressing room? If you even think about going in there, I'll... What was that? Was that a gunshot? Something's going on. You, out of my way! Emma? Lemiroir? Lemiroir! It's not locked. I'm going in. Lemiroir's dressing room. What's that awful noise? Oh, it's the concert. Uh-oh. It's Lemiroir's manager, Mr. What's his name? Latus! Oh no. Hey, you! Me? Watch this room for me. I have to call for backup. Right, understood. You want me to... you want me to come in and make... Or you want me to make sure no one comes in, right? And don't touch anything. I'll be right back. What's going on? I just talked to him and now... He's alive? Mr. Latus, can you hear me?
Shot. I was shot.
Who? Who shot you?
I don't...
Ask what?
Ask... Witness.
Witness? There was a witness? Who?
Cold. So cold. Witness.
You're cold? Don't worry, you're gonna be fine. I'll Help is on the way.
Can't see.
Hang in there. Mr. Latouche, tell me who is the witness?
The witness is Siren.
Siren? What kind of siren to witness anything? Mr. Latouche! Yipes. Emma! What was that? Who's there? What's wrong? Emma, did you see anyone just now? Huh? No. Could've sworn I heard a door close. The concert's been canceled. Backup's on its way. Is Mr. Latouche? He's dead, isn't he? It's terrible. I lost him. Romain Latouche, shot. And I heard his last words. The witness is the siren, whatever that means. July 7th, backstage hallway. The venue's locked down. Took names and addresses before letting the crowd go. Good luck, Diane. I'll let you know if I find out anything about the victim. Later. It's investigating times in Fraulein Detective. I don't need some rock and rolling prosecutor to tell me that. One request I must make. Tell no one, on staff or otherwise, anything of this. Oh, a gag order. No words get out, other than Mr. Latouche is dead. No word of the cause of death, or of the murder. Tell no one? Tell no one. Not even the miroir? Not even her. We must keep everything under wraps. Oh, one other thing. I'll need your signature on this here forehead. Yours too, Fraulein. On that? Huh. An investigation request? Why just us? You two are civilians. It's standard procedure. That should be okay to sign, I think. Right. Well, and get started with the investigation. I'm on it already. And one tip for you. Huh? Me? Try not to get in the Fraulein Detective's way. She's in a foul mood today. Gee, I wonder why. We're all questioned as witnesses. And none of us can go home. We'll investigate, alright. Our way. Somehow I don't see us getting back to that crime scene anytime soon. I still can't believe I was there when it happened. Not an experience I care to repeat anytime soon. This is no time for navel gazing. Let's crack this case. I worry about Trucy. She seems to have a very loose idea of what it means to be an attorney. Of course, that's not surprising considering who her father is. Something the matter? No, let's get cracking. The only one who was there. The only one who heard Mr. Latouche's last words.
The witness is the siren.
First order of business is to find out what he meant by siren. And we will do that in just a moment. I need to use the bathroom right quick. I'll be right back.
Alright, let's get going. I am gonna go ahead and be transparent. I have a guide for this one because as stated, I don't like this case and I want to get it done as quickly as I can. Okay. This in because one of the bots is not acknowledging that I'm streaming. There we go.
What's that? Looks like some kind of future phone.
Not a phone, a transceiver. It's called a headset. It's definitely a 2007 game.
What's a headset doing on the floor? Wait, you think Mr. Latouche might have been wearing it? Like one of those bodyguards?
I don't think he was wearing one when we first met. The LED on this thing is lit. Must be on. Oh, that's... Alright. The Mirage dressing room.
Ah, it's you. Figured you'd come.
You have to let us investigate the scene, please. You're attorneys, no? Can you wait until you have a client? Latouche did and tell me to ask the witness, the siren. His dying breath, no less. Doesn't that count?
Glare at me all you want. You'll get no snacks from me.
It's okay, I got my own. I got Oreos.
Please? Think of poor Le Miroir. Oh well, I suppose. You did find the body with me. Great, let's get to it. Great! Try not to touch anything.
She's letting us look. There's not much in her snacks. This bodes well. There are clues here. I can feel it.
Leave no hanger unhung. No spot unspotted.
Clues here. Maybe the big bullet holes in the wall. Just a sec. Let's go snack down on this Oreo real quick. There we go. The victim.
Mr. Romain Latouche, wasn't it? He was Le Miroir's manager and interpreter, apparently. This was his first time in the country. So I'm guessing he didn't know many people here. Doesn't seem likely. I'm not gonna think of anyone with a motive to murder him. Except for one person, of course. One person? Who?
Le Miroir. No one here might have had a motive, but she's from.
What are you talking about?
Hey, it was Emma's idea. I said nothing.
Always with the snacks. He's a big man, or was. I don't think even I've been in a fight with him.
Which is why whoever it was used a revolver, I'm guessing.
We sent a request to the Borgini embassy for more info on him.
Crime.
You and I know more about the crime than anyone. You do?
It's true. It was us who found the body.
What? Huh.
I guess that's what I missed for watching the concert.
Hey, I wish I was watching the concert. Anything would be better than this. Well, we know the crime took place during the concert.
And when we heard the shot and entered the room, the killer was already gone.
What? But that doesn't make sense. You came in when you heard the shot and no one was here? How did they leave the room?
Window was a little too small, isn't it? Mystery of the disappearing killer. Another ladder.
Actually, technically a stepladder.
Well, hello, Miss Fancy Pants. Please forgive my lack of ladder discrimination.
I'm less worried about the stepladder and more worried about why it's there. Why is the ladder there?
Oh, to climb, right? To read something on the ceiling.
I still say it's a stepladder.
Perhaps a vent?
What's wrong, Apollo? Your mouth yeah. Your mouth is catching flies.
Nothing. It's nothing.
Maybe that's how the killer escaped. That's what you were thinking, right? Huh? When we arrived on the scene, the killer had already fled. He or she must have had a way out. And that air vent was one possibility. But it's much too small.
Not if the killer were about your size, Trucy.
I didn't do it. Huh? I was cutting up the dance floor at the time, thank you.
I know. Of course I don't think you did it.
Hard to tell with you sometimes, Apollo.
Hey, what have I done?
What's this thing?
Is that her brooch, I think?
Ooh, what a pretty brooch. Oh, Emma? You're not gonna say, hey, can I have it, please, are you? Oh.
Look, you may be cute, a little girl at 15,
but that doesn't get you any special treatment with you. Or with me.
it's not healthy to envy the young, Emma.
It's not about envy, it's about tampering with evidence.
Note to self, Emma lacks a sense of humor. Use caution.
You need to learn to respect your elders a little. Something seems familiar about that brooch.
We have Emma's 25, yeah. She's older than Gavin is, jeez.
Are these bullet holes?
Looks like it. There are two in the wall. From the look of it.
The victim was shot in once in the shoulder. First shot must have missed. But there are two holes. Wouldn't that mean two misses?
The murder weapon is a .45 caliber revolver. It's very powerful.
I believe what we're seeing here
is the mark left by the second bullet after it passed through his shoulder.
Ouch. Sounds painful.
No kidding. I wonder about this murder weapon. This is the murder weapon, isn't it? This revolver?
That's right. A big .45 caliber revolver. Wow. Wonder who brought this in here. I thought only police were allowed to have one of those. Why are you giving me that look? I didn't do it.
I didn't...
Listen, I was out in the hall eating snackos when it happened. I know. No one here thinks you did it, Emma. I could tell with you sometimes, Apollo. Hey, what have I done? Wait, if the killer brought a revolver, it must mean they had planned this from the start. That's right?
No, I'm Apollo. Write your dad.
Seeing the mirrors lined up makes me think I'm really in a dressing room. You are in a dressing room. It's supposed to be makeup. Never heard of most of these brands. Maybe they're Borginian? All I know is they don't make for much of a clue.
What an amazing bouquet.
I mean, it's giant. Not sure I approve. It'd be better if this flower was a bit more... Oh! The flower fell off!
What happened to preserving the crime scene, Emma?
It's fine. I'll just put it back. See?
How scientific.
That's a body, isn't it? Sure is. The victim, no less. Let's take a closer look. Go ahead, Apollo. You first. Me? No, you should go first, Strucy. Billy, will you two stop bickering and get over here?
She's munching on snackers again. Hope she's not too annoyed.
Is that blood? Why don't you examine this one, Apollo? You know more about, red stuff than I do. Yep.
Says who? It's strange about this blood, though. What it looks like?
I don't have my... This is one of those, things, right? At the barber's? A permanent dryer. Want me to curl those bangs of yours?
No thanks.
Better not mess with his hair, Emma. It's part of his identity, you know? Look, there's a little window over there. Maybe the killer escaped through that.
It's barely big enough for me to get my head through. Not to mention, it only opens a crack.
What? I'm just saying it's possible.
Right. No harm in that. Except I'm pretty sure it is impossible. You peek into the room through it, though, you know?
So this is the murder weapon? This revolver is incredibly heavy. It's been fired twice. You can still smell the gunpowder. That's odd.
What's odd?
Oh, nothing. Hey, no fair, tell us! Just something about this revolver seems strange.
Strange? What do you think about the revolver?
Well, it's pretty big and heavy. That's right. It's a .45 caliber. Makes it one of the deadliest revolvers around. Even the police don't carry guns this big. Really? It doesn't make sense. You don't need so much power to kill at such close range. It's overkill. I'm not sure I see the problem. I mean, whenever I go out and eat curry, I order it extra spicy just to be sure it's spicy. Of course, I can only ever eat 1 or 2 bites.
And that's not a problem?
There's another thing about a gun this big. It puts a lot of strain on the user, or on the shooter. Strain? Yeah. Say if you were to fire this revolver, the recoil would probably dislocate your shoulder. Ouch.
Trucy is 100% a menace. And I kind of adore her for it.
It's like the shooter's a victim too. Yet the killer used this revolver quite well. I'm guessing whoever did this was used to shooting. Used to shooting a high caliber weapon? In the wings.
Oh, got to hydrate.
The stage looks empty.
I was hoping to get a chance to talk to Prosecutor Gavin.
Oh well, nothing to do but go to the crime scene, I guess.
I guess. I guess there's something I'm missing in here. Let's see, what is it that I'm missing? Come on, there we go. And skip over the dialogue we've already seen. There we go.
Apollo, look at his hand.
He's holding something.
Hey, no touching.
Throw all the snacks at me you like him, huh? But sooner or later, you're gonna run out of them.
You raise a good point. I'm a bit intrigued by this scene. Let's take a look. Ah, see there? He's holding something. What's this? A keyring? Think it might belong to the killer?
Certainly a possibility. What an unusual keyring. What unusual keys. Is that a keytar? This could be a vital clue. Okay, there we go. There we go.
I suppose.
I'll go report the evidence. Sorry, but could you wait here till I get back? Huh?
Oh, actually, we have to... Great, thanks.
She left.
What do we do, Apollo? She told us to wait.
Great, now how am I supposed to investigate?
I guess it can't be helped. Let's go.
Huh? Go?
Time's a-wasting, Apollo. Oh, we've got a lot of ground to cover.
Well, that's true, but... on second thought, why not? I'm sure everything will be fine.
Of course it will. Let's go.
There we go. July 7th, back hallway.
Eek!
Who's there?
We didn't just imagine that, did we?
He's wearing a silk hat. Friend of yours?
Hardly.
Whoever that was, he sure looks suspicious.
Now the stage. Kind of surprised they let me go there. There we go. What is it with today? Problem after problem. Tongue. Tongue. I don't. Yeah. I don't know how that's pronounced. You ain't kidding.
It's the two leading members of the Governors, Apollo. Clavier on vocal and Darian on guitar. They're so cool.
I have a hard time thinking of Clavier as anything but a prosecutor. Honestly,
Huh? What are they arguing about?
probably the case, I bet. My hog won't start. My guitar case is busted. My guitar's been burnt to a crisp, and on top of all of that, someone's dead. And then there was that, there was that performance just now. What is that all about? Hey man, don't blame me. You were the one who missed the cue. Me miss a cue? How could I conceivably get the most important part of the song wrong? How? And what was all that tinny playing of yours? Who are you calling tinny?
Sounds like they're having a spat. One of those difference in musical direction in bands are always splitting up over.
This is hardly the time. What are you two doing here? Hiya. We were just discussing the investigation, if you don't mind. Sorry, wait, you were what? Listen, you need to confirm that I'm with the Republic of Virginia, Detective Crescent. Right, anything else?
What did you call him? Detective?
Greetings. I don't think your hair is phallic enough. I think it could be just that slightest bit more. Darian Crescent. Criminal Affairs, Division 3. You can just cut this part out right here. Just Darian Crescent, criminal. Hello? Criminal Affairs?
Apollo. You really don't know anything about the Governors, do you?
Somebody tells me, or something tells me that's about to be remedied. I don't know what the general opinion of Gavin is in the Ace Attorney fan base. But he might have my favorite like theme out of any of the prosecutors. I like Godot's a lot, like that kind of smooth jazz, but I really like Gavin's.
The case.
About the crime. Which crime do you mean? The murder. What else? Oh, that. For me, today has been a hit parade of crimes, you see.
Prosecutor Gavin was singing the blues earlier, wasn't he? Something about his hog and his guitar case.
Anyway, I'm afraid you know more about the killings of Mr. Letus than I do. For now, at least. Huh? You were the one who found the bodies, huh? Well, we were... Yeah. Well, we were in the middle of a performance, no less.
Aren't you going to examine the crime scene, Prosecutor Gavin?
I leave that to frontline detective. We wouldn't want to step on her toes.
Not exactly best buddies, are they? Him and Prosecutor Gavin, I mean.
Well, what not to do next? We've already checked out the scene.
Prosecutor Gavin might be right. He might be the most informed for once.
Maybe Prosecutor Gavin can shed some light on things we found. I don't believe you, Apollo. How can you come to this concert and not know about the Gaviners?
We're given tickets. It's not surprising that even our ancestors knew nothing of America's existence once. I know America exists.
The Gaviners aren't just an average rock band, Apollo. Each member is connected to the police somehow.
Make a joke.
The police? The real police. By day they pack heat, but by night they heat up the stage. By day those lips interrogate, by night they sing songs of unrequited passion.
Okay.
They debuted 7 years ago with 13 Years Hard Time for Love. Then came with Love with No Chance of Parole, and My Boyfriend is the Prosecution's Witness.
See, this one right here just sounds like a light novel title. Like this is just, that's a light novel title right here.
The list of hits goes on and on.
This here's my right-hand man, Derry Crescent. I make the melodies and he attacks them with his guitar. He's a bit of a rogue, really. And this guy's a bit of a perfectionist. When the performance goes the least bit wrong, he goes into a funk. Just like today. I hope Murder would be a bit more off-putting than a ruined concert. The concert today? A disaster. I'll get to the bottom of this, and then we'll see who missed the cue.
Miss Q. You were arguing about that before.
Great. I love nothing more than questioning tormented artists.
What's this Miss Q you keep talking about?
You heard it, didn't you? From the audience.
Actually, I didn't notice anything.
See? No amateur. No amateur is gonna pick up on that. I can guarantee you an entire audience. Can you guarantee an entire audience of amateurs? No. Now take a listen to this.
What's that?
A mixing board. We use it to record our concert tonight.
Aren't we supposed to be investigating a murder? Well, you've come this far. Might as well go all the way. I always wanted to wanted to learn about the recording industry. Oh boy, okay.
Yep, this kind of stuff is why I have a guide for this case. And probably also the next case, because the next case is freaking nuts. This is but one of the devices used in recordings. We're a 5-part band. This lets us record each member's performance separately. Use the sliders to adjust the volume for each part. Check it out.
Wow, neat. So you could say, hear only the drum part?
Of course, that's how we'll find the criminal of the guilty of the missing cue tonight. I'm more concerned with the other criminal, the one who kills people. You want to help on the case? Then help me with mine. I guess rock and roll comes before prosecuting. Let's begin. First, we'll bring up the part of the performance in question. Simply choose the section of the song you wish to hear on the uppermost bar, like so. There it is. Now listen.
Is something wrong?
You couldn't hear it? Listen again closely.
Ah, the timing's a little off, isn't it?
You see? There. Right at the most important part. Even an amateur can hear it.
See, I don't quite have the same, I don't think I have the same, like, musical ear for it, because it's kind of noticeable, I guess?
An amateur with a mixing board, maybe. You're missing the point. We'll never stamp out the crime until we're perfect. Perfect! Here he goes again.
Huh, I wonder why you would have that kind of facial, like that kind of portrait, Darian.
Right, amateur. You will prove my point.
Huh? Me?
You'll find the miscue. You will tell which instrument and which part is the guilty party.
How?
Did I not just explain it? Move the slider as if it is W and S to adjust the volume for each part. Then you will find the part that hopelessly bungles the cue with A and D. You will find it with your untrained amateur ears.
Nothing to do but try, Apollo.
I guess. I'll admit this looks kind of fun. First, a quick review. Use W and S to adjust the volume. WASD. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's definitely more noticeable when it's only... Yeah, yeah.
Take that!
This part is off. Which is that? Second guitar. Ah! It was you, Darian. Oh, well. Looks like the cat's out of the bag. It looks like the cat's out of the bag. Ah, well, that's all you have to say? That kind of attitude lets killers walk free, Darian.
I thank you.
Here they go again.
Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to ask about the concert.
Starting to feel like we're just wasting time.
It's all experience under our belts. Can't be that bad.
Still can't get over the title for this song. Guilty Love? Let's see. Cause this is, yeah. I was wondering if you knew anything about this. That. Does it look familiar?
The mirror is mine. That's my keyring. I've been looking all over for it.
What? This is yours, Mr. Gavin?
I knew it. It literally has a guitar on it.
Apollo! How can you make that I knew it face? The keyring that was...
Yeah, I know.
Thanks anyway. So where did you find it? Actually, the victim was holding it.
He was trying to keep it from the killer. Even if it meant his life.
What? The victim? You mean Mr. Latouche had my keys?
Indeed.
Then will my trials be over?
Speaking of trials, I've never heard Mr. Gavin whine in court like he has been today.
I was right about the fop. I'll give her that.
Apollo! Mr. Gavin, maybe we can help. Tell us about your troubles today.
I really don't think that's...
Tell us. And we'll keep mum about the keyring for now.
You're blackmailing me, Fraulein?
I like that he's kind of, almost kind of impressed.
You were saying something about your keyring? Or your motorcycle not starting? I don't know where I got keyring in there.
Something about your guitar case being busted.
Listen, I adore Trucy. She is so fun. So well informed.
You mentioned it a few times.
It all happens this morning. It's all this keyring's fault.
Oh yeah, and, you can see my link to my Blue Sky. For those watching and at home that don't have it yet, Blue Sky is now open to the public, and you no longer need an invite code to get in. So if you want to have all the social media with none of the Musk, then now is the time. Keyring?
It's got all of my keys on it, yeah? My bike key, my car key, and the key to my guitar case.
Wait, so this keyring?
It disappeared. I thought I'd put it in my jacket pocket.
Prosecutor Gavin's keyring disappeared?
I had to come to the concert by taxi. How embarrassing. In order to get my guitar out, I had to break the lock.
Wait, this guitar or wasn't the one that...
The very one. Up in flames.
Gosh. I'm not a musician. I was learning guitar at one point, but it ultimately, as stated earlier, it ultimately fell through. This right here just hurts to look at. Guitars are expensive.
Right on stage, too.
I actually thought that was part of the show.
Crazy. And to top it all off, Mr. Latouche's life was taken. Nobody told me about days like these. Your job's a joke, you're broke. Now have a pair of these.
Strange days indeed.
You sink?
What's wrong, Trucy? Oh, I'm just trying to make sense of everything. First, the heart-shaped keyring gets stolen. Then a very expensive guitar flares up on stage. Then Mr. Latouche dies.
Yes, and?
Could
it all really be just a coincidence?
Coincidence? Meaning? Darian, can you make any sense of all this? Hey, don't look at me.
What do you think, Apollo?
Huh?
I mean, either Mr. Gavin's having a really bad day, or all this was planned.
You aren't thinking in what I think you're thinking. Are you, Fräulein?
I am?
What? Hey, don't leave me in the dark with Spike here. The name's Apollo, but yeah, I agree. Don't leave us in the dark. What are you talking about?
Haven't you noticed a connection, Apollo? A curious connection between all of Mr. Gavin's troubles today.
Well...
You know, something was bugging me too. The keyring, the car, and the body. Slow down there, Polly. You look a wee bit dizzy.
He's bluffing. He hasn't figured it out. Fess up. If you're a man, you're as clueless as I am.
Huh?
No. Give Herefordhead a chance. Let's see your evidence of the connection, shall we?
Evidence?
I better think of something pronto.
Come on. Let's see it. What is the connection between all of Mr. Gavin's troubles?
Stole away the key. Oh. Yeah. It's this, isn't it? A lyric sheet. The guitar serenade. What's that got to do with anything? It has everything to do with everything. I thought I wouldn't have believed it if the Fraulein hadn't pointed it out. What are you talking about, man? Enough with the riddles. Maybe it's a coincidence, but perhaps it means something. Don't you think, Fraulein?
I do. Everything that's happened to Mr. Gavin today is predicted in the lyrics of to this song.
What? No way!
Let's just think about everything that's happened to Mr. Gavin. Let's list them in order that they occurred while reading this lyric sheet.
First, the keyring was stolen.
And not just any keyring, a heart-shaped keyring.
That's right here. When you stole away the keys to my heart, or held on onto so tight.
This is a heart holding keys. And next, his guitar burst into flames.
Burning in my heart, fire burned my love away.
And then Mr. Delicious was killed.
Like a bullet of love, fire take my life away.
But that's crazy. Yeah, no kidding.
So everything that happened here today, this song predicted it all? Or perhaps the other way around. Huh? The criminal could have based their crime on the lyrics.
Who would go through all that trouble?
Someone who moves in mysterious ways, no doubt. I believe you'll stumble on something quite vital. Quite annoying, Fräulein. I love the sprite. It's so cute.
She looks pleased.
The lyrics predicting the crime. Clavier. Seems a bit more than just a coincidence to me. I have to agree. Keyring, the guitar, and the murder.
The keyring might have been dropped by accident.
Yet the victim was holding it. Hard to think that was unconnected. That's true. Prosecutor Gavin's as calm and collected as ever.
So the criminal matched their actions to the lyrics.
That sounds likely. Why would anyone do that? While we think about that, I'm gonna get cracking on the biggest crime here. I'm gonna talk to the Borginian embassy about Mr. Latouche.
Ah, right. Thanks, Daddy.
I'll leave the pondering of mysteries to you. I'm out of here.
I hate this animation. A foreign national, Mr. Latouche, was killed. It seems like that would have to be the point of all this. Yeah. They left us with not only a murder, but a mystery.
Mr. Gavin sure is irritable today.
Maybe this isn't the real prosecutor Gavin we don't get to see in the courtroom. I've had enough, frankly. If you find any more mysteries, do me a favor and keep them to yourself, Ja. Ja. Guess this is all we're gonna get from Prosecutor Gavin. That leaves Lemiroir to question. Prosecutor Gavin, do you know where Lemiroir is right now? Ah, I had her go to my dressing room. Visit the pianist, Machi Tobaye, of course. She seemed rather shocked by Mr. Latouche's sudden passing. The governor's dressing room. Got it. Who's there? I'm sure he won't be important later. There he goes again. There he goes. Who is that guy? Huh? Trucy?
You know, he did look sort of familiar.
Well, with the fact that his outfit looks almost exactly the same as yours? So he is a friend of yours?
No, that's not it. Sorry, I don't remember.
Curiouser and curiouser. Governor's dressing room.
Ah, Lemiroir. What has happened? I heard Mr. Latouche has died.
Lemiroir, you speak? I mean, you speak English.
Ah, yes. I was invited here from the Republic of Borginia. But I am not Borginian by birth.
But wasn't
Mr. Latouche your interpreter? Ah, that, yes, well, it was Mr. Latouche's idea. He thought it would add to the mystery, you see.
Then your pianist is also.
No, Machi Tobaye is Borginian. He does not speak English. Now please, tell me. Has something happened? What has happened to Mr. Latouche? Why did he... Actually, Mr. Latouche was...
Trucy! Huh? Remember what Prosecutor Gavin said. Not a word.
But Mr. Latouche is Lemiroir's manager. It's not fair to her. I mean, isn't she a related party?
Precisely who Prosecutor Gavin doesn't want to alert, I suspect.
All we have been told is to wait here in this room. It's very unsettling.
Sorry, we're trying to figure it out ourselves. Do you think I could ask you some questions?
Of course, I am always willing to help.
She's as calm as she looked on stage. Can't put my finger on why. But I like this Lemiroir. I wonder how, what the connection will be. I'm sure it's nothing. Wingdings.
What is it, Machi?
Wingdings.
What? But you'd be alone.
Wingdings. What seems to be the problem?
Machi, he is not good around strangers. He wishes to go out for a breath of fresh air. Would that be alright?
Sure, of course.
Very well. What is it you wish to ask me about? Look, it's a postcard of Le Miroir.
What are these letters at the bottom? Never seen these before.
Must be her native tongue, Borginian. A landscape painter in sound. This is how it would translate, roughly. Please, take one.
A landscape painter in sound. It's a nice image. The Republic of Virginia. It's in Northern Europe, right?
I never even heard of it. I started out singing in a restaurant, and a producer called me. Before I knew it, here I am. You don't say. Yeah, my daddy plays piano in a restaurant.
Producers tend to look for talent, Trucy. Miroir, you're not from Borginia originally. Were you born here?
Well,
Oh, was that supposed to be a secret?
image is everything when you're a star. I know a bit about that, of course. Ah, yes, it is something like this. A contract, you might say. I'm also not to speak anything but Borginian in public.
Image is important, I guess.
She's not all image, though. Her songs are lovely. A real landscape painter in sound.
Painter and what?
She travels around the world, turning sights she sees into music. That's the secret into your music's beauty, right? You're very perceptive. I use your songs all the time in my stage act. I don't have to pay royalties for that, do I?
Stop while you're ahead, Trucy!
This landscape painter in sound, too, is an image. Yet without it, my songs would not be so widely heard. They even call you the siren of the ballad, right? Yes. In Borginian, Le Miroir means the siren. I fear that perhaps I am not the siren I once was.
Uh-huh.
Machi. Your pianist, Machi, was it? He's cute. Like a porcelain doll.
He's very European.
I met him while singing in restaurants in Borginia. He's an orphan, yet his playing is exquisite. Soon he came to live with me. It's like a fairy tale almost.
I notice he hardly leaves your side.
Yes, well, he's blind. At first, I hesitated dragging him across the world.
He doesn't speak English either, does he?
He had never left Borginia before we met. I made his presence part of my contract. Machi and I ate together are Le Miroir. Together, always. Mr. Latouche. Mr. Latouche was my new manager.
New?
Yes, from 3 months ago. Around when I received Mr. Gavin's invitation to come. I met Mr. Latouche at my office. He was to be my bodyguard, or my manager and bodyguard. And as it turned out, my interpreter.
Interpreter, even though you speak English?
Yes. But we were to visit more places than just here. I had a concert in Japan scheduled after this one.
Ah yes, Japan, where we are not.
I fear that may have to be cancelled now. Was Mr. Latouche from the Republic of Borginia too? Well, he was only with me for 3 months. I'm afraid there is much I do not know about him. And now I shall never know. No one will even tell me why he has died.
I'm sorry. Prosecutor Gavin says we aren't to talk to anyone.
Mr. Latouche was a talented man. The siren of the ballad. That phrase was his idea, you know. I'm happy for him. And that it has become so well known.
The siren. That's what he meant.
Huh? Apollo?
You're the siren. Right, Lemuroir?
That is the meaning of my name in Borginian, yes? It was the name my producer gave me. But why do you ask?
It's very important. I had to know for sure if the siren was you.
What do you mean important?
I'll tell you. You deserve to know. Siren. Turns out it's a very important word in this case.
How?
We found Mr. Latouche. He was still alive.
What?
I heard him say something. His last words.
Mr. Latouche, can you hear me?
Us. Witness.
Hang in there, Mr. Latouche. Tell me, who was the witness?
Witness is siren.
He said siren? Really?
I was the only one there to hear it. I'm sure that's what he said.
Mr. Latouche said that? Ask the witness.
And you're the siren, Lemiroir. Did you see what happened? Lemiroir?
Might I ask, are you with the police?
Huh? Well, no, I'm a defense attorney.
An attorney. Yet there have been no arrests, yes?
Is that a problem?
Does an attorney not work for a client? If you have no client, you should leave the investigation to the police, I think.
But Lemiroir,
I'm sorry, but I cannot answer your questions. I'm afraid you lack the authority to ask them.
Why?
If she witnessed the crime, why won't she tell us? I believe we are through here.
I believe so. Oh, I think they didn't get a thing. But I think that's right. I forgot to present the brooch. That's right. That would be hers. That reminds me. Does this brooch look familiar to you?
My brooch, yes. Well, it may be mine.
Yours, Lemiroir?
I was wearing a brooch earlier, you see. I must have lost it.
Well, that explains the brooch we found. It was Lemiroir's.
Thank you. I was wondering where I dropped it.
This brooch belonged to her. That begs the question.
Is something wrong, Apollo?
What was this brooch doing at the crime scene? Now, let's try it. There we go. Whoa, who's there now? Ah, it's you. Where were you? Emma! Something wrong? She looks grumpier than usual.
You bet something's wrong. The impossible's happened.
Ugh, it's all your fault, you know. Oops, maybe this is about us leaving the crime scene.
What do you mean by impossible? What's gone? Utterly gone!
What's gone?
The body, stupid. What else? Eh? Mr. Latouche's body has disappeared. What? Nani?
Ah, Prosecutor Gavin. From your vacant stare, I gather you've heard the news.
I heard Mr. Latus's body has gone missing.
For yourself. Well then. Quite the pickle. Quite the pickle.
How can you just stand there? We have to start the
There's no need for alarm, Fräulein Detective. All entrances and exits have been sealed. The body will not leave the building. So I suggest we go find ourselves a cadaver. There will be plenty to time to ponder the whys later.
Oh, you seem pretty sure of yourself, Mr. Gavin.
Oh, we'll find him. I'm rather enjoying this.
How could Mr. Latus's body just disappear? Well, you heard the man. Let's get searching.
Hey, I don't know if this is exactly the right time, but... Yes, Dadian? See, Geeter's gone missing. It was in the dressing room.
Geeter? Who's Geeter?
That's what I call my guitar. You like, man? Your guitar was stolen?
This hasn't been a good day for guitars or Geeters.
Okay, body first, then guitar. And if someone finds a guitar, please bring it to our dressing room. Geeter's is like a missing person, not a lost and found man.
Yeah, boy. Well, this sure is a, what did he call it? A sausage? No, it was a pickle. And it's your pickle. I told you to stay in the room. Sorry. Not much else I can say. It's alright. Top priority now is finding that body. You can make it up to me later. 10 bags or so of chocolate snackoos should do the trick nicely.
You should watch your sugar intake, Emma.
Oh boy, alright. Something seemed different to you, Apollo.
Something is definitely different here.
Check it out. That stage there must have been lowered before.
That's the tower that Lemire and Prosecutor Gavin were singing on.
Someone must have raised it. I don't see a way to control it from here. Apollo, what about that ladder there against the wall? And the step ladder? We could use that to take a look up top.
Maybe we should get in.
What are you talking about? We have to see this sort of thing for ourselves.
I'm not so good with heights.
Stop whining and start climbing.
Didn't look that high. Aim from below, really. When I got to the top, it felt like every one of those 15 feet down. Of course, I wasn't thinking about the height anymore. Not after what we found up there. Found two things we were looking for, and one thing we never expected to find. The body, guitar in hand, and the pianist, Machi Kabaye. Okay. Right? Anything agency. Oh, that concert last night sure went south in a hurry.
No kidding. Why did they arrest Machi? Why?
Seriously. Yes, he was found near the body. Boy howdy, does that not lead to anything. That is just... Oh, this right here is my biggest gripe with this case. None of the actual evidence really points to Machi. Everyone has to be idiots to believe it. I refuse to believe that any one of these people would entertain the possibility of a 14-year-old boy carrying that giant of a man and onto that stage after shooting him with a revolver that has been confirmed to be so powerful that Machi should not have an arm from firing it a single time because he is an untrained blind boy with no firearms. And I don't care if the thing of like, oh, he missed, so he must be blind. I'm terrible at Fortnite, and has nothing to do with my eyesight. Don't look at me. You like it's my fault. Machi Tabaye, the blind pianist, arrested on suspicion of murdering Romain Letus. I can't believe such a cute little boy would do something so horrible. He is physically incapable of doing so. I guess they had proof of something. No! No! What proof could possibly prove that? Morning. Prosecutor Gavin? What a night, eh? I apologize for being so upset.
Mr. Gavin, do you know what's going on? Why did they arrest Machi? Why?
Don't look at him like it's his fault either. It was tough for me too. We were born together that night after all, yet...
Yet?
The powers that be says that given the circumstances, it could have... Who are these powers that be? Who?
What do you mean, circumstances?
Le Miroir was invited from Virginia as an ambassador of goodwill. It is vital that this case be wrapped up swiftly. That's all the powers that be want, really. Those are the circumstances, alright.
What makes you think Machi is what makes Machi the only possible suspect?
Head forehead, you seem to have forgotten that you're talking to the prosecution. It's the enemy. Oh, right. Okay, I like that. I had a prosecutor Gavin better, actually. I'm not at liberty to discuss the particulars of the case. Especially not to the defense attorney.
What? Did you just say me? The defense attorney?
That's what I came to tell you. He's down at the detention center. He wants to request your services.
You mean Machi? Machi was me? This is what we've been waiting for, Apollo. Let's get going.
Right. Now you're Apollo. Good luck. Now, I'm off to question Le Miroir.
Right.
Later. I hope I'm up to this. Detention center visitor's room.
I don't get it. I refuse to believe a cute little kid like that could do something so terrible. He's not physically capable.
You said that already.
Machi, everything's gonna be okay. We're here for you.
Hi. Maybe you can tell me about last night? Wingdings.
Huh?
Wingdings. Wingdings. That was when I realized how tough it must be. A little kid like this. In a country so far away from everything he's ever known.
Maybe Le Miroir can help.
Prosecutor Gavin say she was with him? What are we gonna do? That's a good question. Can't think of anything. What we can do would go with this. Hope for the best of the trial tomorrow. Wingdings. Wingdings. So it is almost 2 hours, but we are gonna go ahead and try and at least get this. Get this court day done. We are about to get into the meat of why I don't like this case so as much. Anyways, we're about to get into the meat of why I don't like this case. Appreciated. Because, boy howdy. All the evidence pointing to a 14-year-old supposedly blind boy using a weapon so powerful that it would put Apollo's, a significantly stronger individual's arm out of his socket just by firing it. It's oh my gosh. Okay, let's go. Let's rip this bandit off.
Court is now in session for... How do I say that?
Machi Tobaya, Your Honor. Oh. The Pixie of the Arpeggio.
Right, his trial. Court is in session.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is okay here, Judge.
Very well, Prosecutor Gavin.
My opening statement, ja?
No, actually, there's something else I wanted to ask you about.
Yes?
Say you're going to visit someone in the hospital with an incurable disease. What do you say to them? I mean, you wouldn't say get well soon, right? You'd only be kicking them when they're down.
What are you talking about?
Actually, I'm going to visit someone who is terminally ill. Right after this trial. The Chief Justice's son.
The Chief Justice?
His son is afflicted with the most terrible disease. He doesn't have long, it seems.
I don't remember this! What the... Judge, what is this tangent?
So I thought I'd go pay a visit. I thought saying something moving might be the order of the day.
Why don't grown-ups ever just say what's on their mind instead of pretending? She's looking at me with disgust. Hey, what are you looking at me like that for? In any
case, I'm a bit busy today, so let's wrap this up quickly. Prosecutor Gavin, your opening statement, briefly.
Sure enough, Judge. I believe you'll be going to your hospital visit sooner than you think. First, to review the victim in the case, Romain Latus, age 35. Jeez, you're only 35. The global manager for Diva Songstress Lamerova. The cause of death? Blood loss due to being shot by a large caliber revolver. This report has all the details.
The court accepts this into evidence. 45 caliber? That's quite large, isn't it? A direct hit from that could knock a man off his feet.
However, the bullet struck him in his shoulder. The damage to the body was slight. Death was not immediate.
Sadly, his blood loss was such that he could not be saved.
I suppose the victim's condition could have been much worse considering.
Crime photo. 2 shots were fired. 1 shot missed, the other penetrated and passed through the victim's shoulder. Both bullets were found in the wall of the scene. Observe the diagram. This is where the bullets hit.
I see. Nope. Yes, I see. The court accepts this evidence.
Diagram.
If we're talking about a 45 caliber revolver, we must assume the killer was adept with the weapon's use.
Really? Yeah, apparently weapons that size have a powerful kickback. If, say, the judge tried to fire one, it'd break every bone in his body. So why is a 14-year-old boy being accused of being the one firing it? He should not have an...
The defense will take more care in choosing examples.
As I was saying, the victim was shot backstage in the dressing room. His dressing room? Listen, it takes a lot. I feel like the Turnabout Big Top is a high bar to pass in terms of least favorite cases. But boy howdy, this one does it. And I think it's entirely due to the anime's interpretation of Turnabout Big Top, where they got rid of the weird love triangle and introduced and made some slight changes to make things a bit more emotionally impactful. But boy howdy, oh my gosh, because this and what is it, Recipe for Turnabout in Game 3 are my 2 least favorite cases, purely because they both require everyone else but the player to be an idiot to have any of this going on. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. This is going to continue. This dressing room only has one entrance, the store.
That does seem to be the case, yes?
However, there were witnesses who heard the gunshots.
He's talking about you and Emma, huh?
Yet when the witnesses entered the room, it was empty, save for the victim's body, of course.
But that's impossible.
Exactly. This murder was impossible. For all but one person.
One person?
That is, of course, the defendant, Machito.
In what world?
Only the defendant could have committed the crime. But how?
It's quite simple. The circumstances of the crime scene make it clear.
Very well. I assume you have testimony to back this claim. Please show the witness to the stand.
And much like the judge and everything, I am going to speed this up by pulling out my guide. Your name and profession, please. Your name and profession, please.
I'm a Sky. I'm a detective for the police department. I was on security detail for the concert reform that night.
I feel like that's not what her job description would entail, but I don't know enough about general legal systems or, stuff like that to, yeah, she's a detective, but she's there to investigate crime scenes, like... If, the murder was significantly more open, I doubt Emma would be able to do much in terms of defending people. She's a scientist, not a Not someone who would be able to do much for physical altercations. I would sooner put Gumshoe in charge of that because at least he's a big guy. Also, I just love Gumshoe. Hima seems tired somehow.
Security at the concert, you say?
Some security I was. Couldn't even stop a murder.
No, don't blame yourself. Things like this happen. I've made even bigger mistakes in my career, you know.
I'm sure that makes her feel much better. I want to hear about these bigger mistakes.
In any case, because we were on security details, the crime was quickly discovered. And we were able to identify the killer. You may give the court your testimony if you would. Describe the circumstances of that day and your discovery of the crime, please.
Alright. The night of the murder, I was on security backstage at Prosecutor Gavin's request. Only people involved with the concert in some way were allowed backstage. At the beginning of the third set, I heard shots. I went to the back room, filled with blaring rock music, and found the body. I examined the scene and determined that only one defendant could have done it.
It was lucky that the detective was the first on the scene.
But that door was the only way out of the room, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
But I don't get it. How can they say that Machi did it?
Looks like we need a bit more information.
Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination.
The night of the murder, or was the night of the concert, yes?
That's right.
What was a detective doing on security detail, might I ask? Okay, good. They might just answer this. If it was only a concert.
My thoughts exactly. But orders are orders, even when they come from rock gods.
Prosecutor Gavin. Just allow me to explain. I smelled something that day, you might say. The stench of conspiracy. That day at the concert hall.
Conspiracy?
Well, isn't it obvious? My keys. That whole morning. You know? The whole day was ruined. That's all because someone stole my keys. Couldn't ride my hog to the show. Couldn't open my guitar case.
There he goes again.
Isn't it possibly he simply misplaced them? Misplaced them? Misplaced items don't just wander into murder victims' hands on their own.
What's this? Prosecutor Gavin. And if your key to the victim's hand, that makes you a prime suspect.
Man, that I choose to believe that Prosecutor Gavin is actually a bard and he just used prestidigitation to play that. Gosh, I kind of want to do that. A bard who casts spells via air guitar. That sounds fun. Love, slow acting and no Canine is waiting for you. He's singing something? Everything with this guy had to be so over the top. The killing happened in the middle of my concert. I was like a sailor adrift on a sea of sound. Anyway, I didn't want anything else stolen, so I put the detective with the most time on their hands on this. Wow! Rude!
I see. How can you accept that?
I can't. What do you mean, time on their hands?
Please, the testimony.
You were let in through... No. I didn't know about that. I certainly didn't invite you.
It gives the Fraulein special permission to be there. I wanted to see her.
She's 15.
Mind you, you're not as bad as, gross doctor man from the hospital.
Oh boy, did you hear that? We're officially involved now.
Gee, great.
Some other hangers-on tried to get backstage, but I drove them off.
So no other outsiders were there then.
And then...
I believe we were having a chat when we heard the shots.
You were the one chatting. I was eating snackus.
So I know these are meant to be like chocolate snacks. They look like Slim Jims. They look like little Slim Jim bites. And now I kind of want a Slim Jim. It's a tempting thing to go get some Slim Jims come tomorrow.
Hey, new snacking in course.
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna have a pretzel. Just to spite you, Judge. Exactly. Disrespect your surroundings. And your shots came from La Miroir's room? Yes, absolutely.
Hey, I'm the one being cross-examined here. Here, this'll keep me quiet.
Dunk.
Ah, thanks.
So, how about it, Emma? We were right there. And we hard to be mistaken about that.
Please, either talk or eat. Not both at the same time.
Right. So, after that, me and Mr. Lawyer there opened the dressing room door. Rock? Blaring, yes.
When you say rock, are you referring perhaps to this rock and roll music that's so popular these days?
How old are you, Judge? Are you in the court record? You are not in the court record. How old is the judge?
That's right. We went to the dressing room. Music was blaring over the speaker on the wall. They piped sound from the stage in the backstage. Yeah, they piped sound from the stage into the backstage to the speakers. That way, people in the back can hear when they're supposed to be on stage. Did it have to be so loud?
You don't listen to the governors with your ears. You feel it with your entire body and soul.
And that is why I don't like concerts. I don't like the feeling of like sound reverberating through my core.
I am sure, a couple years ago, I went to a convention, and
one of the guests was the band Burnout Syndromes, who has done several anime openings. Things for things like Haikyuu and Dr. Stone. And it's just like, oh man, I'd like to go to their concert, but then I remembered I hate concerts, so I didn't go to their concert. And I was like, oh, I could get a CD. I don't have any ways of playing a CD, so buy their stuff digitally, I guess. I always have the backstage monitors at full volume. When we went in the room,
Fan is playing Guilty Love, I believe.
that's fine. Listen, I don't know if I'm ever gonna go to a convention where they're in attendance. And even then, their anime songs are singles, so they wouldn't necessarily be on their CDs unless they have a CD of just their anime songs. We are unfortunately in an age where digital media or physical media is dying. Case in point, what's happening with Funimation and Crunchyroll.
Making it easy to determine the time of the crime.
You could hear the music playing.
Listen, everyone on stage for that song has an alibi, including myself.
Anyway, I closed off the seat and started my investigation.
I assume by Charlie you mean Moist Critical, but I can't be for certain. I don't actually watch Moist Critical's videos. Okay. I mostly just see clips that have become memes.
Hold it!
Like the woo! And the yeah! This is what we've been waiting for! Which this game right here is what I've been waiting for. Basically since I finished Trials and Tribulations on stream all those months ago.
How could you know something like that? As I said, it was clear from the circumstances. Listen, you know there was only one exit from the room, that door. The small window only opened a tiny crack. I was standing in front of that door. So how could the killer have fled the scene? There's only one possibility, the air vent. But that air vent was too small. Who could possibly? Exactly. There's certainly no way you could get it through, nor me. The only one who could fit through was a child. A child? Remember, access to those rooms was limited. Only those involved with the concert were allowed.
And of all the people involved at the concert, only one is small enough to be considered a child.
The defendant?
The pixie of the Arpeggio. Flitted up toward the sky and disappeared from the scene of the crime. But that's just conjecture. Oh? There was no other way out of that room. You over there? You should know. Oh, have forehead.
And there's another vital piece of evidence.
Evidence? What?
Marks were found on the air vent grill. Traces that had been recently opened.
Wait, what?
Something else I found quite clearly. The defendant, Machi Tobaye's fingerprints.
What?
Order.
that Ervent was the only way out of the room. The defendant's fingerprints were found on the grill. Well, Herr Forehead, what fairy tales does this suggest to you? Only one could pass through that vent. That doorway to heaven. And that one is our pixie.
Why are you looking at me, Apollo? Hey, I was out whooping it up in the audience.
So this was his decisive evidence?
Quite decisive indeed. I believe that's enough of that. The prosecution has a rather convincing case. There's only one way out of the crime scene. The only way in and out of the crime scene is washed, making the defendant the only one who could possibly leave the scene. Simple and decisive. I believe I've heard enough to determine our verdict, even if I wasn't in a hurry to make a hospital visit.
I'm sure the Chief Justice will appreciate the gesture. Unfortunately, we have no direct witnesses. Fortunately, the criminal left decisive evidence for us. That will have to be enough.
Can't be over already.
Very well, I believe this trial is finished, if the defendant has no contradicting evidence.
The prosecution has presented a proof, clear and plain. If you have contradicting evidence, it had better be clear and plain.
Apollo, they've got us on the ropes already.
Better come up with something quick.
I know.
Think, get us out of this. We need evidence or a witness that can prove Machi innocent beyond a doubt. Without that,
Mr. Justice, do you have a contradicting proof that we can overturn the prosecutor's case? If you do, you would better tell us about it now.
this is it. So soon. If I mess this one up, it's all over. The court wants contradicting proof. I mean, we gotta question the siren. Prosecutor Gavin, you claim that there were no witnesses to this crime. Are you absolutely sure? Absolutely. I'd swear on my career as a prosecutor. On my multi-million seller hit. Its song. Antrokenin, my love.
There he goes again.
It's too bad, because there was a witness.
Really now? How did you come to possess the knowledge since the prosecution clearly does not?
Because I am the only one in the world who knows this. Alright, we've seen the scene several times. Yep.
It was siren. What? The victim said this before he died?
Perhaps he did, but perhaps he did not.
What do you mean by that?
Arvid knows what Herr Forehead says he said. It's no testimony, especially when it comes from the defense attorney himself.
Objection!
But it's the truth. He said it.
Even if I told you that, I even told you about it.
But apparently you ignored me completely. It's my policy to fully investigate everything I deem relevant. Clearly this rookie lawyer thinks he can tell me how to do my job.
That's enough. Mr. Justice, we need clear and contradictory proof from you. This witness of yours was unknown to the prosecution. I hope you're right. Failure carries a stiff penalty.
Perhaps a stiffer penalty than usual is called for.
No backing out now.
Let's hear the name of your witness, Mr. Justice.
One La Miroir.
Take that!
Le Miroir?
Recall Mr. Latus's last words.
Witness is Siren. The siren? Oh, Even to thee, Siren.
That's right. Siren of the Ballad. La Miroir. The Miroir was only on stage for the second set. And she had access to the backstage area. She could have been a witness.
I see. Well, Prosecutor Gavin.
My claim still stands. There was no witness to this crime.
Very well. Let's hear from the horse's mouth then, shall we? We shall not take a break from Detective Sky's cross-examination. Please show Le Miroir to the witness stand.
Miroir would say nothing on the night of the murder. Not today, though. Today we'll drag the story out of her no matter what it is. It is my distinct honor to welcome the Siren of the Ballad to our courtroom. You are too kind.
You can speak English?
Yes I can. Though I am not very good, there is much I do not know.
You speak so well. Have you spent time here before?
Actually, I do not know how I came by my knowledge of your language, nor where I studied it.
What does she mean she doesn't know?
I too sought to call her as a witness, but I did not. I had a reason, of course.
What's that?
The Miroir suffers from amnesia.
Amnesia?
The Miroir is not my true name. Yet I remember of nothing of the time before I was given it. Nothing of the time before I started singing on stage.
Oh, she's even more mysterious than I thought.
As a lauded singer of La Miroir, she lives a good life. There are little difficulties for her, thanks to her success. Yet, I do not wish to subject her to unnecessary stress.
I see. You care surprisingly little about people's past. You have nothing to fear in this court, Le Miroir.
Thank you. Yet, there is something I do not understand. I am being called as a witness. What might I say? No one will tell me anything of what happened. Le Miroir, let me be frank. I did not want to ask you here to testify. Yet that young gentleman with the white forehead over there, I was adamant that you stand. Oh my.
Congratulations, Apollo. You're the bad guy.
Well, now that you're here, please give us your testimony.
Yeah, listen, are you a defense attorney? Yeah. Currently on the stand at or in an Ace Attorney game? Guess what? You are going to get bullied. Just constantly. And forever. Yep. Phoenix Wright, bullied. Apollo Justice, bullied. Athena Sykes, I don't think she gets bullied quite as much, but I also only got through, like, I don't know, maybe a third of the way through the second case of Game 5, so I don't actually know if she gets, particularly, bullied. I don't know, maybe Blackwell is down the line.
If nothing else, the sound of your voice is welcome. Tell us what you saw the night of the crime.
What I saw. As for what I saw nothing. That night, I was invited to sing on stage. And this I did. I did not return backstage after the second set, and I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room, and told to wait there. That is where I learned when something had happened, but I wasn't told the details.
I must say, you sound wonderful just testifying.
I hope he was too distracted to hear what she was actually saying. There you have it. She saw nothing that night. Now we can only pray that the defense has the sense to admit defeat and refrain from detaining her longer than need be.
Oh, you just got better, Apollo. Way to go.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Keep it short and sweet.
Lemira wouldn't talk to me the night of the crime. She must know something, and I've got to find out what. Alrighty, my guy. So I need to do... approach on our third statement. The brooch was found behind the thingy. Or in the backstage. I am sorry, Lemire, but I'm having trouble believing you. You remember this brooch, do you not? Why, that's Lemire was. She was wearing it for her song. Care to add to that testimony, Prosecutor Gavin? What? This brooch was found after the murder took place. At the very scene of the crime. What? Lemire, how did your brooch get it backstage if you did not go there yourself? And as Prosecutor Gavin has just told us, you had been wearing it during your performance that night. CJ, you might actually know this. Were we always able to see, like, her face underneath the veil in the original release? Because I feel like it wasn't... I don't know, maybe it just wasn't as obvious on the tiny DS screen with the pixel graphics. But I don't remember being able to see her face so clearly beneath the veil.
What is the meaning of this? The miroir, please explain.
Miroir? Wingdings. She says English is quite difficult. That trick's not going to work here. Wingdings. Your forehead may be large, but you are a lawyer truly. But you have missed one important fact. What now? Wingdings. In fact, at the time of the incident, I went backstage, but only for a moment.
What?
Wingdings. Think back to the moment of the crime. You know whereof I speak. She really saying all that? What is she talking about, Apollo? Right when the incident occurred. Is she talking about that? Watch this room for me. I have to call for backup. Right, understood. You want me to make sure no one comes in, right? Okay, yep. Skip through the dialogue I've already read a million times. Witness is siren. Siren, hospital siren. Yeah. I looked at the room, just a glance, mind you. So this is when your brooch dropped. That explains that. It does. There was no other time I could have dropped it. That's ridiculous. You only lived for an instant and you drop your brooch? Her forehead just raised a possibility. The only thing that can counter that is evidence.
So she looked in at the scene of the crime.
Actually, I intended to go into the dressing room. I knew nothing of what had happened, of course. But the moment I opened the door, had a horrible voice. A forehead shouting, "Who's there?" no doubt. A horrible voice indeed. Ugh. I closed the door immediately.
Well, that explains the brooch. Let's return to your testimony.
That's too convenient. She's hiding something. Lemuroir, you did look into the room though, right? Yes. Testify as to what you saw. Very well, though it was only the briefest of glimpses. Ah, and the... Yeah. And we got a glowing bracelet. What was that?
Gotcha!
There we go. The late Mr. Latouse's body, you say? Yes? You know something about Mr. Latouse's death than you're saying. What? I could see you trying not to remember, but the effort made you swallow. You can't fool my eyes. It is true. So terrible after all. Why did Mr. Latousse have to be shot? One moment, Lemiroir. Yes? What was that you just said? Why did Mr. Latousse have to be shot? Yes? She was hiding something. I knew it. Lemiroir, I'm afraid you haven't realized it, but your words just now contradict your testimony. Huh? How could that be? Take this. We weren't allowed to tell you anything. Tell me, Lemiroir, how did you know he had been shot? Huh? Well, immediately following the incident, a gag order was placed on the scene. This is the document proving that. In your testimony, you told the court, "No one told me anything about the incident." Furthermore, you testified you had seen nothing. You knew that Mr. Latousse had been shot. How could you have known? Yeah.
Lemiroir, you aren't hiding something from this court, I hope.
That sweet song of hers was sounding a little too sweet. Now I remember. Please, allow me to add to my testimony. Of course. All we want to know is the truth. She looked kinda pale, huh? She saw something. I know it. Huh, I wonder why "saw something" was in orange text. I'm sure that's not relevant. Yep, nope. Bullet holes would be behind the door, or you would not have just peeked in.
Objection!
Lemiroir, they call you the siren of the ballad, but lies are hardly becoming of such a beautiful creature.
A put down worthy of a prosecutor, Mr. Justice.
Such put-downs are hardly becoming of you, Apollo.
Stop polishing your forehead and start polishing your character, Jean.
Come on. Can't it maybe be cool for once? You're the lead. You're the defense attorney. You're the defense attorney in an Ace Attorney game. You are the butt monkey. You do not have plot armor from that. You will be the butt monkey of your own game. Observe the diagram. Lemire, are you looked in from the door for just a moment, correct?
Yes, that is so.
There were bullet holes in the room, yes. But they were in the wall the door is on. You see? Assuming you merely glanced into the room. Oh, well. York, that's quite the scream.
The Miroir?
Yes?
I'm afraid the defense has raised a good point. It appears you have been holding back something.
And I must tell you what it is that I saw.
Yes. The happenings in this trial are being recorded. I'm certain it will be on the news in Virginia. You understand your reputation's at stake. And it falls to you to avoid tarnishing it. Personally speaking, I still believe that cross-examining her reveals absolutely nothing.
But she knew how Mr. Latouche died. And he named her as a witness. You must have seen something, Lemire. Surely. Surely there's no wrinkles in her seeing things.
Very well. Then Miroir, please continue your testimony.
Very well, I shall.
What I saw.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it. There were two shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. But it wasn't Machi. It was a grown person. I know it was.
So you did witness the crime? And the killer was a grown person, you say?
This is my first time hearing this, I assure you. Nice play, forehead.
Very well, Mr. Justice, you may begin your cross-examination.
Get going, Apollo. You were right about Lemire. What's wrong? You don't look too happy.
This whole thing smells fishy. That's what's wrong. Cross-examination. Okay, what do I need to do first? Press on the fifth statement. A grown person? That's a little vague.
I'm sorry. My skill with your language is lacking, I know.
Certainly you could at least see whether the shooter was male or female.
It was a man. A young man.
And you're sure of that?
Yes. His voice was quite clear.
Voice?
Looking at this diagram, seems the dressing room was quite cluttered. It does seem likely that you wouldn't have had a clear view of the shooter.
As a singer, I rely more on my ears than my eyes. When I hear a voice, I do not forget it.
That voice was the voice of a man.
So you had a voice, but wait. Couldn't that have been the victim, Mr. Latus?
Absolutely not. Did I not just say I do not forget a voice? If it was Mr. Latus who spoke, I would have known.
Indeed. You were at the window when you heard the shooter's voice. The voice of a young man.
Apollo, this is a good testimony. That proves it wasn't Machi.
Indeed. This turns out to be true. It would cast this case in a considerably different light. What is the defense's opinion of this testimony?
Unfortunately, it is fishier than Atlantis. Though it pains me to say this, there's something wrong about Lamiroar's testimony that rings false.
Heh, bravo, Herr Forehead. You're colder than I thought.
I'm sure you remember or what the problem is as well as I do, Gavin. As has been established, no grown man could pass through that air vent. He couldn't have fled the scene of the crime. But that means Lamiroar has to be lying. I know, and it's bad for our case, but I can't shut my eyes to this. Believe me, the idea was tempting.
It is as Herr Forehead says. Yet, this is not the only contradiction within our testimony.
What's next? What's he talking about?
Lamiroir. I understand that you would want to protect Machi, but remember, you are the siren of the ballad, and lies do not become from such a beautiful creature.
What does the prosecution mean?
Apollo, what is he talking about? No one bats an eye when he says something like that.
I recall the state of the crime scene quite well.
State of the room?
Yes, the blood that took place. That window was closed. I find it hard to believe you could hear a voice through it.
But I'm sure.
Lamiroir, I have nothing but the highest regard for your musical sense, but my opinion of you as a witness is somewhat lesser.
Objection!
But she's the only Man, you sure do like emphasizing specific points of text. I wonder.
Objection!
So you say, and the victim named her the siren, as the witness.
That's right. What's that? That's what Mr. Latus.
We heard your claim. We even entertained the possibility, and it brought us to this. Herr Judge,
Yes?
the prosecution requests that the witness be excused. Please?
I'm afraid I must honor the prosecution's request.
There is indeed a question.
The witness's credibility.
But if Lamiroar can't testify, we don't have a chance of proving Machi's innocence.
His cross-examination is over. Prosecutor Gavin, you may continue making your case.
Danke. Now, where were we? Ah, yes. I would like to hear from Fräulein Detective.
Objection!
Wait, let me hear Lamiroar's testimony one last time.
But the cross-examination is already over. Until such a time as it arises, this witness may leave the stand.
I'm sorry I could not be of more assistance.
At last, back to the real trial. Ready, Herr Forehead?
I hope I didn't just miss my only chance.
Fräulein Detective, how far had we gotten before we were so rudely interrupted?
Don't ask me.
I dislike saying the same thing twice, and I never repeat a song for an encore.
If you would, Miss Sky.
I believe I was saying that, and the only way Mr. Latus's killer could have escaped
to the vent in the ceiling.
Ah, yes, there was only one door in the room. And a witness, you, was standing in front of it.
That air vent isn't very big, see? Kinda limits people who could possibly get through.
Certainly would have a difficult time.
You sure would. Not that you would have been in there in the first place, though. Remember, the whole backstage area was off limits to people not involved with the concert. The only one who meets the conditions for our killer is the defendant.
A virtuoso performance. I could not have put it better myself.
She does state a clear case. Though, reading the report, something caught my eye.
Oh, what's that?
The circumstances of the arrest.
Circumstances? Again? Hey, that's right, Apollo. Remember when we found Machi? That was bizarre. She's right. Why did Mr. Latus's body disappear from the room? And end up on top of that stage tower? Holding a guitar, no less.
A perceptive observation, Herr Judge.
Thanks. It was kind of an accident, really. If you work in this job long enough, you get a nose for things.
The judge sure seems pleased with himself. Listen, that judge is one of the most oblivious characters in this setting. I adore him. I think he's really funny and very charming.
But boy howdy.
I will give him the W whenever it is deserved.
Very good, Fräulein and Detective. Perhaps you can tie it all together for us. Why was the body moved? And how does that lead us to the killer?
The missing body. I believe Machi stole the body because of some lyrics. He moved the body to match Lemiroir's song. No one in this country had a motive to kill the victim. Machi practically left his signature at the scene. All of this evidence clearly points to the defendant. Does it?
Yes, the guitar serenade. You noticed its code too, did you not?
It's code?
All the events that day follow the lyrics to our song. First, the keys to my heart held on. Yeah, first, the keys my heart held on and so tightly were stolen. Then Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flames on stage.
Mr. Latus's life was taken by a bullet.
The rest hardly needs explanation. Guitar, guitar, up together to the sky.
That's mad. Like a story out of some fairy tale.
Uh-huh. I admit I'd forgotten the song. There it is now, waiting for me. The grand finale, as it were. Hey, you know, I was one who first noticed that.
I've heard of jumping rope to songs and counting to songs. But killing?
It's a wild world out there, Herr Judge.
Very well. We've heard one song and dance. Now let's get on to the get on to the next. The cross-examination.
I'm not so sure I'm going to be doing much singing. Alright.
you mean by his signature? The bullet holes in the wall, of course. The bullet holes? The revolver was fired twice. One shot missed and left a hole in the wall.
That means what exactly?
That dressing room isn't exactly spacious. Picture the shooter facing off with the victim in there. Can't have been more than 5 feet apart. Be difficult, almost impossible to miss at that range. I very distinctly remember years ago a coworker at the job I was at the time talking about how she didn't like the I think like the 3DS games because I guess Emma is in one of them, and they were like, oh yeah, they made her like something like messed up they felt like they messed up the writing on Emma and thing. And it's just one of those things. Other than Rising from the Ashes, Emma's writing is rough. I know she's smart enough to not assume this kind of stuff. That being blind is the only excuse for missing a shot with such a powerful weapon.
Difficult to miss, you say?
Very. Assuming the shooter could properly aim. Have you seen me play Fortnite, Emma? You don't have to be blind to be a bad shot at close range. There's a reason I favor shotguns in that game. No, you can't be serious. Machi, he can't see. That's why he missed. It's been a while since I've used my hotkeys. Is it this one? Yep. Alright. Use sound and other senses to fire the... Poorly. That reminds me, the monitor in that room was blaring at the time, ja? Hardly ideal for conditions for tracking by sound.
The blind shooter. Hey, what?
Those bullet holes would come back to haunt me. Thank justice. What would I do now? Sure, there were bullet holes left in the wall, but that doesn't prove the shooter couldn't see.
Oh, how so?
Well, there could have been in a struggle with the victim.
That's certainly possible.
And it might have been the revolver's fault.
The revolver?
Hey, the phone's going off. Hold on. Oh.
Yeah, a safety alert is going off in a nearby... I say nearby, I have no idea where that city is, conjunction to where my city is. That is not relevant for now. The revolver was a very large caliber, correct?
If the shooter wasn't used to firing such a large weapon, I could dislocate the shoulder.
Funny how Machi's shoulder wasn't dislocated. Exactly. The defendant, Machi Tabai, as you can see, is tiny. It's not not so hard to picture him firing the gun and missing entirely. The kickback alone would throw off his aim. Literally anyone.
A convincing argument to be sure.
Take that, smug prosecution. Apollo? Huh? What? That bit about Machi being tiny, and the gun throwing off... It would throw off his arm, not just his aim.
Admitting that he did it.
Oh. Does not matter why he missed. What matters is that the shooter was, without a doubt, the defendant. Even if the defense seems to agree on that point. Trying to get through this as fast as I can without complaining too much. Let's get the facts of the matter on record. If you would, Fräulein Detective.
Very well. The witness will add this to our testimony.
Alright. Okay.
Objection!
The prosecution holds that the shooter couldn't see. A scientific conclusion based on thorough examination of the crime scene. Yes. Apparently not thorough enough. I have a certain piece of evidence that completely overturns your claim. What? This is that evidence.
Photograph of the crime scene?
Camera show the smirk on Prosecutor Gavin's face. This is no time to think twice. Time to press on. Yes, Your Honor, the crime scene. And something here that decisively contradicts the prosecution's point. Then perhaps your best choice is something. Get your finger out of the breeze and put it to good use, Ja. Did he just make a joke about how much people point in this game? While also pointing?
Very well. Show us what you're talking about, Mr. Justice.
Take that!
Contradiction is right here. The smeared bloodstains?
I thought it was just my blurry vision. But it really was blurry. The way the victim's hand was raised above his head. It's like a gesture I have seen many times in this course.
Another joke about pointing.
It's almost as if he wrote something. Aha, I get it. At least I think I get it.
Get that, Fräulein?
When Mr. Latouche was shot, he tried writing something. And what would he write but the shooter's name? And what would he write it in but his own blood? Pretty good, huh?
Thanks for making my point for me. Yes, in fact, that's what I think happened here.
That does seem to be a distinct possibility.
The victim wrote the killer's name. Certainly a logical conclusion. Drat. Wish it wasn't all rubbed out like that.
Of course it's rubbed out. Why, if I were a killer, I certainly wouldn't want to leave my own name behind.
Neither would I. No one has anything else to say.
About what?
The prosecution accepts this? You agree that this was the victim making an attempt to record the name of the killer? And the killer tried to rub the name out. What's your point? What's my point? Let me ask you this. How did the killer know the victim was writing their name?
Well, Mr. Latouche was writing something in blood. Once the killer saw what it was... Wait.
Once he saw what it was.
But what did you just testify about the shooter? Yet the crime scene itself contradicts that. The killer had to have been able to see. Why would they rub out the name in blood otherwise? May I remind the court the defendant, Machi Tabaye, is blind. He couldn't have been the shooter. Impossible! Emma, you're smarter than this. Why were you smarter as a 17-year-old than you are as a 24-year-old? Or hold on, 24, 25? 25-year-old.
Please explain what this all means. I mean, looking at this photo, it seems quite clear that the shooter could see. If up until now.
It seems I owe the court an apology. The governors are abandoned law enforcement ties, yet a murder occurred during our concerts. Apparently this has caused some confusion over jurisdiction. As a result, some reports were not filed in an entirely timely manner. I'm not sure I like the vibe I'm getting here. Hey Apollo, look at him. Why is Prosecutor Gavin all relaxed and smiling like that? Like he knows something we don't, and he's about to tell us? Alright, catch you later, bud. Thanks for coming by. Hope whatever is pulling you away isn't too, frustrating. Let's rock. There's these documents, but before that, I have a question for the Fräulein Detective. If I may. What? Tell me, why do you think that Machi Tabaye is blind? Huh? What did he say? What are you saying? Of course he's blind. Of course. He's the blind pianist, right? So doesn't Le Miroir lead him around by hand all the time? No way. Later, bud. I have the report here on the defendant, Machi Tabaye. According to this, Machi Tabaye can see perfectly well. What? His blindness is merely a publicity ploy by those clever Borginians. He can see quite well. But you said... What did I say exactly? Her forehead, not once during the course of this trial, have I claimed the defendant was blind. The only one who did was Fräulein Detective. But that's... a significant fact, yes. Consider, Machi Tabaye sees. But he was the only one who could have fled to the air vent. I see no problem with this. What about the bullet holes in the wall? Yes, the bullet holes. I believe her forehead neatly explains those for us. It didn't miss because he couldn't see. It was the kickback from the .45 caliber revolver. A simple accident, in other words. How's that? I'm afraid your objection has just flown off for brighter skies. This is where the real fun begins, at forehead. I knew you didn't have what it took. You jerk! What was I in here for? Comic relief? Yeah, apologize. Oh, sorry. There's no way to apologize. He's angered the Trucy now. Look out.
If we can please end the bickering now.
Whatever, I'm not leaving. I can't leave like this. I'll come up with some clue to solving this case if it kills me.
Actual testimony has already given us enough to convict the defendant.
say that. Ah. What? It's bloodstained. The criminal tried to wipe it off, right? That seems to be what happened, yes. We might be able to find out what was really written there. Really? You can do that? That's right. With this. Called luminol. Maybe you know of it. It's a chemical that reacts to blood.
Yes. Have we done those tests yet?
As if I'm gonna tell you.
The bloodstains covered a section of the carpet. In order to perform a blood test, that section was removed and submitted. Perhaps we should record it here in court now.
Right, go for it, Apollo. Huh? I have to do the test? You just have to spray the luminol on it. Simple. Chemical that reacts to blood. I've heard of this somewhere.
Yes, Ace Attorney 1,
Or the Ace Attorney Trilogy on Nintendo DS.
Yes, I believe the analysis is called for. Have at it.
Alright, ready? It's easy as pie. Just press space to spray an area. Here, give it a try.
the eyes of the entire court are focused on me.
Apollo, your hand's shaking.
Let's do this.
Wow, it really works. This must be the power of science. It says IPXX 314206. Is that the killer's name?
Maybe it is, if the killer was a real boss.
I have it. So what is it? It says those letters IPXX looks familiar. This is an Interpol ID number.
Interpol? You mean the International Police Agency?
Yes. Yes. Most are undercover agents working to solve international crimes. But why would he write that number?
Why would Mr. Latouche even know a number like that?
Good show, Fräulein Detective. Rock on.
Huh?
Your Honor, we can verify this number immediately. Darian, are you there? Come up to the witness stand. There we go. Darian, you heard what we need. Gotcha. Hack into this Interpol ID number. Sure thing. Give me 30 minutes. No, give me 27.
I'm not sure what to think of all this. Prosecution's cases are tight, or so it seems. Yet, if this number really is out of an Interpol agent.
Oh wait, I know. What if Machi Tabaye is really an undercover Interpol agent?
That would be a possibility.
A possibility, yes. And one that Martin is the killer herself.
Why did Latouche know an Interpol ID number? That's what I want to know.
Well, we have some time into it if there is a pause. Let's work on unraveling another mystery, shall we? A curious mystery concerning Machi Tabaye.
What are you talking about?
Fräulein Detective, please accept my apologies. I received word that the defendant couldn't vet C just before the trial began. Seemed too much of a bother to tell you.
You had me until that last bit.
Does this not raise a rather straightforward question?
Well, sure. Why did Machi pretend he couldn't see?
Exactly. It makes little sense. What do you think, Herr Forehead?
Huh? Me?
Machi Tabaye pretended he was blind. Do you know why?
How could he know? Wait, Prosecutor Gavin knows why he doesn't. He's known from the start of the trial. He's been leading us on this whole time.
Something wrong? Do you think perhaps this is all some kind of game? He knows at the moment I heard the report, I know why.
I suppose people who have circled over a million records really are something else.
Does that have to do with anything?
There was a reason why Machi Tapai pretended to be blind. But it wasn't for his own sake. Getting the picture now?
Was it for himself?
Well, Mr. Justice, when you present evidence, such is why the defendant had to feign blindness.
Machi had no reason to pretend he couldn't see. Which means... No, it couldn't be.
Good show, Herr Forehead. Seems you've thought of something.
Why can't I figure these things out on my own? I hate having to take my cues from this guy.
Very well, look at this.
This is why he was pretending he couldn't see.
Take that!
That is Le Miroir.
Le Miroir and Machi Tabaye. Recall their relation. Oh, is he also in that photo? No, it's just Le Miroir. Who?
In particular, their unique arrangement and over the years before visiting our country. Le Miroir and her pianist. Why did I say it like that? Why would they always walk together? Or they would always walk to her, she leading him by the hand. Even when they got on stage, she would lead him to the piano. She would walk him all the way over. She would walk all the way over there with him. That's right, because he was blind. She led him at all times, never letting him go.
All times.
Yeah, we have just learned something that makes that arrangement peculiar indeed. Machi could see. Why did they have to keep this act up the whole time?
Well, wasn't it part of their performance?
I think there's a simpler explanation. Machi did not need to be led by hand at all. That can only mean one thing. Really? Really, it was the other way around. The one who needed to be led by the hand was Le Miroir.
What's this? Do you mean to say that Le Miroir?
She's... Yes, Your Honor. Le Miroir is blind. What? And I've got to do long, exaggerated ones. Especially with this late at night.
This is crazy, Prosecutor Gavin. Is it now? Please show some sanity on this madness. The defense has made an outrageous claim.
It's the only outrageous thing I see about the defense is his vast forehead. It's not even that big. And yet I see it is not vast in vain this time. He is quite correct.
But that makes no sense.
Yeah, wasn't she supposed to be the landscape painter in sound or something?
Well, since we have her here, why not ask La Miroir herself? I believe she is still in the witness waiting room.
Apollo? What does this mean for our case? Don't ask me. I had no idea she couldn't see. I hadn't even imagined it until now.
Bailiff, bring in the miroir.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh, hey there, Vaughn. What's up, buddy? Enjoy your lurking.
La Miroir, it pains me deeply to call you before us again in this way. And yet I must. Please, do not be concerned on my behalf.
Those eyes. She really can't see? Really?
It is true. How funny it is that a tiny lie born in the Orginians and countryside would one day grow to entangle the entire world.
So you are?
Yes, as I mentioned before, I have no memory of the time before I became even a Miroir. To know that my memories begin in darkness. The word light has no meaning for the Miroir.
I see.
You may recall me saying something until the beginning of this trial, have you read? What's that? I believe I said it was the... It's unfortunate that this crime had no direct witness. Ah, now the Miroir. I must ask you to stand once more. Will you testify to the court about your eyes? Of course. It was never my intent to deceive any of you. May I begin, Your Honor?
Yes, of course. I admit I'm a little lost here.
I think we're all a little bit lost here, Your Honor. The Miroir's eyes. I have no memory of the light. I debuted in a world of darkness and sound. My producer came up with the PR line before I heard he knew this. So, silly as it may sound, I had to pretend I could see. Everyone on my staff knew, of course, but no others.
Interesting. Interesting.
But this is a murder trial.
I apologize. It was part of my contract, you see. I was to keep my blindness a secret no matter what. Music is everything for me. I never imagined something like this would... She told us the truth in the beginning, when she said she saw nothing.
Very well. Does the defense have anything to add?
I'd like to cross-examine.
But what is there left to ask?
There's one thing in her testimony that bothered me. Perhaps it is best if we let it you get it out of your system. Someday you'll come to understand the importance of thinking for yourself.
Very well. The defense may proceed. However, be aware this court will not tolerate any questions deemed too stressful for the witness.
Okay. There was only one part of that bothered me. Just let me ask about that and I'll be happy. Press on the fifth statement. you say your staff, do you include Mr. Latouche?
Of course, he was my manager.
So he knew. That's what's been bugging me.
Something the matter, Mr. Justice?
I believe he knows what. I believe I know what is bothering our young defense attorney. You were thinking of when you discovered the body, yes?
Is he right, Apollo?
Yes, I was.
He's alive. Mr. Latouche, can you hear me?
Cold. So cold. Witness.
You're cold? Don't worry, you're gonna be fine. Help is on the way.
Can't see.
Hang in there, Mr. Latouche. Tell me, who is the witness?
Witness is Siren.
Mr. Latouche told me to ask the witness, and he named you. Why would he do that? He knew you were blind. I don't know.
Tisk tisk. What did I just say? You need to learn to think for yourself.
Meaning what?
There is no mystery here if you recall everything he said. Think of his last word once more.
The witness, Siren. We've heard them many times along with a little play acting by our defense.
Listen, I'm trying. I think I've got a pretty good voice range. I remember them well myself. But that statement is not to what I refer. I mean, in what he said before that.
Before? What came before that?
Ah! Is that right? He tried to tell you. When he said can't see, he wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about the witness.
I see.
Too bad the defense did not. Well, Herr Forehead, try and relax. Yeah, try relaxing and looking at the facts first next time.
Order, order.
Recall of Mirowa's earlier testimony.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it.
But she couldn't have heard those gunshots. I thought we proved that.
That is not the most important part, ain't you? The moment he was shot, Mr. Latouche's witnessed her through that window. Why else would he have named her as the witness?
But I really did hear them. 2 gunshots, and the man's voice.
Unfortunately, such a thing would be impossible. The window was closed. We've already run a simulation, of course.
But it was so clear. If I heard the voice again, I would know in an instant.
Your Honor, what is it, bailiff? Can't you see we're in a session here?
We have the results back from the investigation.
The investigation?
Ah, the Interpol number that Mr. Latouche left us.
Well, let's hear it. We'll continue this cross-examination afterwards. Detective Crescent, your report, please.
I asked Interpol about that number. I'm sure you'll find their answer intriguing. Quick work as always, Darian.
Well, tell us about the number. Is the defendant a secret agent?
IPXX 314216. The agent registered in that number was Romain Latouche.
That's?
Our undercover Interpol agent was Mr. Latouche himself. He was apparently in the middle of an operation.
So when he wrote those letters,
He was trying to tell us his own identity. And the cautious killer had to wipe them away.
Mr. Latouche was an undercover Interpol agent? So him being the Miroir's manager,
The is just a cover, most likely. There's one other important detail I found. Well, out of it concerns that 45 caliber revolver, a murder weapon. Apparently, it belonged to Romain Latouche. He had an Interpol permit to carry firearms, and the registration number on the revolver matched. So the victim was killed with its own weapon, which makes sense. It's hard to imagine someone who wasn't an Interpol agent and with such a large revolver. So the victim was an Interpol agent and an undercover op? How that ties into everything. It's gotta tie in somehow, you'd think. Somehow.
Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Crescent. It's a great help.
No problem at all, Your Honor. I'll be heading out. Wait,
Lamurois, is something the matter?
that voice just now. Darien? Mr. Darien, is it? It was him. I am sure of it.
It was him?
You aren't saying. That voice I heard talking to Mr. Latouche when I heard the gunshots fired. It was him. It was Mr. Darien.
Oh.
Is this some kind of a joke? What?
No way.
How do you have both a pompadour and a mullet at the same time? Okay. The courtroom fell into such a chaotic state the trial had to be suspended temporarily. I'd never seen that happen before. Of course, it's not every day you get such an accusation like that one. The miroir fingering Darien Crescent. I get the feeling that word didn't have quite the same meaning as it does now back in 2007. Not only is he a guitarist, he's a detective. Could it really have been his voice Miroir heard? Things were changing fast, and frankly, I wasn't sure I could keep up with it.
Hey, no wimping out now, Apollo.
Alrighty. And I do believe that right there is a perfect time to stop. Because we've been going for about 3.5 hours. It is almost midnight, and I need to decompress before bed. But I'm glad we made as much progress as we did. I was very vocal with my frustrations with this case, but thankfully the worst of it, I guess, is already past. Mostly. And then, yeah. But in the end, I still enjoy this game. Even if the logic behind everything doesn't make a lick of sense. But it is what it is. And now, we're going to go ahead and wrap up for the night and be back maybe tomorrow. It will depend on how I am feeling after DMing for friends. I want to try and get this case wrapped up so that we can move into cases that I am fonder of as quickly as possible, but we'll see. If not tomorrow, I'll see if I can squeeze one in on Saturday night. But for now, it is time to find someone to raid. Let's see, there's a few options. I think we might... I think we'll go into our buddy Hero. He is doing some Final Fantasy VII Remake.
And so that's fun. Yeah, we'll send the love over to him. And see what he's got going on there. And we'll be back. If not tomorrow, then I'll shoot for Saturday. Until then, you guys have a great rest of the night. I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.